I don't think you guys are ready for what I'm about to share today. I'm not even sure I'm ready. I don't think you guys are ready for this. Listen, so, all jokes aside, when I first started speaking out about being a survivor of child molestation, of incest, and that kind of thing, I was very nervous. I thought that people would call me nasty, dirty, that kind of thing, right? I took on responsibility for the things that happened to me in childhood. Of course, I've come to understand since that none of it was my fault. And it was good to know that people did not shun me. They did not call me dirty or nasty. People were compassionate and supportive and were inspired to share their stories too. So I'm saying that to say, I hope that as I share my stories on here, that I will be met with the same compassion and understanding. Okay, so having said that, I was watching a clip from the Tamron Hall show on Miss Cleo. Remember Miss Cleo? Call me now, Miss Cleo. Excuse me. So yeah, I was watching that and it made me remember my obsession with psychics. All right. So, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm going to be sharing some of the things I did trying to figure out my future. So I've always had this very, very strong fear of the future, afraid of what was going to happen. It was a fear and a curiosity. I was afraid that I was never going to achieve my dreams. And I was also very curious because I always thought I was going to be famous and have a big life and be wealthy and all these things I'd always thought were supposed to be my fate. So I couldn't wait to find out when all those great things were going to happen. So I would consult psychics. By the way, I recently found out when I was thinking about airing this video, I thought, is there such a thing as fear of the future? And yes, there is such a thing as fear of the future, and there is a name for it. It's called chronophobia. What they call it? Anticipation anxiety. Yeah, that sums it up for what I was going through all those years that I was seeking psychics. So it first started way back in Jamaica when I would visit these tea leaf readers. Did I visit card? Maybe I did visit card readers too back in Jamaica. And they would tell me these things, right? And some of it sounded so good to me. And the more they told me is the more I went to see them. I wanted to know more. I wanted more. And so I remember one lady, Miss Finley, should I even say her name? And she would read the tea leaves. And that was so fascinating to me. How could you see someone's future from reading tea leaves? And she would tell me, she told me I would be getting married. I was told several times by different psychics that I would be getting married. I'm not married yet. I've never been married. I've never been married. Oh my God. And then there was this lady I went to see up in Debbie Courts, I think it was, up in Kingston off Hope Road. And she had one eye. And she told me that I was going to be moving to the United States and I was going to be in my own business and all this kind of stuff. And when she told me that, oh my gosh, I was walking on air because back then, coming to the United States was like a dream, right? It was a dream to be granted a visa to come to America. So a lot of us never dreamed that it would happen to us. So she told me that, right? Well, that happened, right? I don't think it took psychic powers to predict something like that. And then she told me, and this one frightened me. She told me that there was an evil spirit around me. It was following me. It was attached to me. She said, there's an evil spirit attached to you. And when she caught herself telling me that, she probably saw that how scared she made me. She said, but never mind, it's been turned on. It's been turned on. So, of course, every now and again, I wonder, is there that evil spirit still on me? Is it turned on yet? Is it gone yet? Oh my God, help me, Jesus. I have so many stories. Oh my God, I have so many stories about readers and psychics and, it's all in my book that's coming up. I wrote this book from way back in 2008, but I haven't published it yet. But I am going to publish it. I'm hoping to publish it this year. All the details of the things I'm going to be telling you on this channel will be in that book. So you'll hear some of the things I did or that happened to me while I was chasing psychics. Okay, so where are my notes? So there was one of them, right? And this was after I came to America. One of them, I was crazy about some man at the time, and I consulted a psychic on the internet, and she told me she was going to make the man love me, and she was going to make him appear in my dreams. And she told me she told me to send her some money for a love tea, and I sent her the money for the love tea. You know what that lady said to me? I didn't realize it until years later. I didn't know what chamomile was. The woman sensed that I was anxious. I was having anxiety and whatnot. The lady sent me chamomile, loose leaf chamomile tea, and told me to boil that tea at night and drink it before going to bed. Of course, so I boil it real strong. And of course, I had nothing but peaceful sleep because I was drinking chamomile tea at night. Oh my God. Of course, after doing that for a couple of nights, I realized, but this is foolishness. What am I doing? So I didn't continue. But that didn't stop me from seeking psychics. And I sought out another one online. And she told me, this is probably when that probably was the last psychic I spoke to. And she told me to send her 3 polo shirts. And I had no idea what polo shirts were at the time. She said I should get them in, I think she said size large. And she said, when I asked her what polo shirts were, she said the one with the horse on the on the logo. Oh, so I was supposed to go to the store and buy her 3 large size polo shirts and send them to her for her to help me find love. Oh my God. I'm talking to you, survivors of trauma. Witchcraft for love does not work. It does not work. One time, I had this friend in New York when I lived in New York. And she was madly in love with a married man. And she would go to these botanicas trying to get stuff and work with people to work spells so that the man could leave his wife and be with her. Well, he eventually left the wife and was with her. I don't know, right? I don't know those things. But let me tell you, one time when I went with her, I spoke to one of the people working there about wanting money. What can I do? What kind of spells can I work to receive more money? And that man gave me a little bell and told me, whenever I think I want money, to ring the little bell and little imps would come and bring me money. And silly me would ring the bell. I forgot what he said I should say. Did he say I should say money, money, come money or something? He told me to say something. I don't remember what now. But I was supposed to do that and money would come to me. The things you do when you have no direction and when you are just foolish, searching for love and things in all the wrong places, trying to make a future. Sometimes they would tell me things, okay, like they would describe a man, and then I would force myself onto a relationship because the man kind of looked like what they described. So I forced myself onto a relationship because that was supposed to be my man, right? So, and then the ones that would tell me about business, one of them told me I would have my own business in Miami. So here I go trying to make myself move to Miami. Haven't moved to Miami yet. Oh my God. Let me see what else they told me. So the thing is, I was very curious. So the more that they told me stuff, the more curious I became about how they would know these things. So I would ask them a lot of questions. And I would ask them, how do you know? How do you see? One lady, I said to her, I'm sorry to be stressing you out with all these questions. And she said, you're not stressing me out. I'm seeing this like I'm watching TV. And I was like, oh my God, how can she see it? How do they know? How can they hear these things? I want to know. One of them told me to burn some white candles and stare at the candles for I don't know how long, but here I go buying white candles and staring at candles, trying to learn about the future from candles. And I wanted to learn not to be able to tell other people's future, but I wanted to be able to tell my own fortune. One time when I had just come to America and I was staying with my father and we had the 900 psychic lines. Oh my God. I ran up his phone bill all those years ago, like 30 years ago. I ran up his phone bill, thousands of dollars, calling psychics. I was obsessed, properly obsessed, because I wanted to know what the future held. And then I wanted to know how they knew. And one of them told me that I could get the messages if I go and stand among trees. Of course, I go find trees to stand among listening for messages. I love trees. I do. But no messages came to me through no trees. So these psychics, even prophets at church would prophesy things that... I know that there are some people who are seers, even from Bible days, some people who are truly gifted, but some of them, they lie. And these people that I was chasing all these years, they were just lying to me. I think every now and again, somebody would say something that would kind of make sense, but I mean, they probably so practiced that they can just make up some stuff that they figure would go with you, Yeah. And some of them would charge a lot of money and some not so much money. I would more believe the ones that didn't charge a lot of money. One time I went far. Where did I live? I think I was working, I lived in the Bronx and I was working in New Jersey. And I had access to the people's car because I used to be a nanny, housekeeper kind of person. And I took the people's car and I went far in search of a psychic who told me that there was a man around me, the spirit of a man around me. And he was telling her that he sent me to her because, excuse me, sorry, because he wants her to help me, because he's been trying to help me, but he's getting weak and he can't cross over until I get help. So he sent her to me. I forgot what she gave me or told me to buy her. Well, I don't remember all of that. But when she told me that, it made me cry because it made me think about my deceased adoptive father, who I knew loved me. And what she told me seemed like something that he would say about me. Lord, suffering the kind of traumas that I have suffered, one could rationalize that I would seek love, looking for love in just these crazy places that these psychic, I was looking for love anywhere I could find it. So I was following what the psychics were saying, looking for love, and then worried about my future. But now this is why I do what I do now. This is why I'm so passionate about what I do now. I found a quote that said, very powerful quote, it changed my life, that said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. So that is what I do now. I create my own future. I have become a powerful creator. I create dreams, right? And so this is what I do, helping people to create their dream. Hence, the name of my channel is Power Up Your Dream Self-Empowerment Mentorship. And I have a Power Up Your Dream Self-Empowerment Mentorship program that helps particularly survivors of trauma or anyone who's lost, who's confused, who's frustrated, who's lost their self-esteem, lost their sense of power, feels lost in life. I help them to regain their power, their sense of self, their self-esteem, and go after their number one dream, their biggest dream, the dream that once they achieve that dream, they would have achieved all their other dreams. That big dream is like the catching pot for all the other dreams, right? On your way to that big dream, you would have achieved all your other dreams. And so once you have this dream, you can say, yes, I got what I want out of life. I got what I wanted out of life. And then you can go on to create more dreams, or you can just start focusing on helping others create their dreams. So that is what I help people do now. That is my passion now. That is my focus. No more psychics. No more psychics, no more fortune tellers. I tell my own fortune because I create the future that I want. And I am here to help you do the same. Okay? So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you. I did not go into details about some of the things that I've done, right? Following instructions from psychics, but it will all be in my book. And so if you want to know more about my course, about my program, the link will be in the description box. And if you want to work with me to create your dream, develop a plan to create your dream, that link is going to be in the description box as well. I have an 8-week course coming up. It's going to be in May, starting in May 7th and going through June 27th, something like that, right? When I come back from Morocco, because yes, I create dreams now. I travel. as much as I want because I don't need a psychic to tell me how to travel, right? So anyways, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave me a comment. Please subscribe to the channel to hear some more of my stories and just to follow along. I speak mostly to trauma survivors, but anyone who is in this game of life, and who among us has not been traumatized in one way or the other. So please leave me some loving comments, leave me a thumbs up, and catch you in the next video. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking about sharing some trauma stories with Danielle Armstrong, and tune in for that as well. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.